with preparations set to begin in the form of the first official MotoGP Test of 2024. Marc Marquez will have all eyes firmly upon him as he jumps aboard his Gresini Ducati. Following a one-day test at Valencia last year, Marquez will be back on board his 2023 prototype machine as he looks to begin a title push. Marquez is expected to challenge for race wins and possibly the championship in 2024, but understanding his potential is something even Carcetti is yet to discover. Speaking about the Valencia outing and what they were able to take away from it, Marquez crew chief Carcetti said, "Everything happened so fast that you literally finish one race and then start the test. There's a period of 2 minutes where you think, ooh, this is exciting, but then it starts and your mind is on the bike, on Marc. When conditions are awful and you've only got one bike in the garage, it makes it really tough. You can't afford any breakdowns, any slip-ups." It was stressful from that point of view, but to be honest, we found something in the conditions that was okay and did as many laps as possible. With regards to the upcoming season, Carcetti remained tight-lipped about what he expects from Marquez. A world champion crew chief with Joan Mir in 2020, Carcetti could repeat that feat in 2024 and help Marquez become the first-ever satellite rider to win the title in the MotoGP era. But Carcetti says they haven't even begun thinking of the opening round in Qatar, instead turning their attention to next week's 3-day test at Sepang. "We haven't even thought about Qatar," said the Brit. "Our whole thing at the moment is the Sepang test. And it's like anything. The higher you step on a ladder, you always try and go higher, and the more you do. The idea of the Sepang test is to start as high as possible and improve. Where that will become Valencia 2024, your guess is as good as mine." The only rookie in MotoGP this season, Pedro Acosta is not an ordinary rookie, as the Spaniard is one of the best young talents the sport has ever seen. A Moto3 world champion as a rookie and Moto2 world champion in his second season in the class, Acosta arrives at MotoGP on a bike that should be competitive from the outset. But Acosta's team manager, Nicolas Goyen, says expectations need to be realistic. Speaking to MotoGP.com, Goyen said, "What can Pedro achieve this year? I really think that after a period after COVID, it is getting more difficult. Riding a MotoGP bike is not like 10 years ago, when you could fight straight away for some podiums. Now it is really competitive and the bike is tricky to understand. You need to understand the device on the front, device on the rear, and there are a lot of buttons. This all takes time to understand. I think we need to give some time to Pedro to learn the bike and how to ride the bike. If you just look at all these aerodynamics where you have more load on the front, braking there is more weight on the rear, and these are all things you need to integrate. The rear is where you also have a lot to learn. So my message to the fans is to be patient, give him time to learn the bike. I think around the top 10 positions is a great target." Goyen's example of a rider who did great things as a rookie, and someone to potentially try and emulate for Acosta, is Marco Bezzecchi, who went on to win multiple races in his second campaign 2023. Look at someone like Marco Bezzecchi, who had a great rookie year. He ended up being 9th in his first season, and he is Marco Bezzecchi. Acosta, who as a result of being a rookie has already begun preseason testing, was in action today at the Sepang Shakedown Test. It was the reigning Moto2 world champion's second day aboard the RC 16 machine. Not used today was the new carbon chassis that the Gasgas team will have for the first time, but Goyen expects Acosta to get his hands on that in the coming days. "Yes, we will have the carbon chassis," said the Frenchman. "We will try it, but I'm not sure if we are going to try it straight away. But we will definitely have it. We're delighted to be on the same level as the factory team." The first 2024 Moto test featuring contracted race riders kicked off at Sepang in Malaysia on Thursday with the start of a 3-day shakedown. Following a winter testing ban from December 1st to January 31st, the revised concession rules now allow race riders from Yamaha Fabio Quartararo and Alex Rins, and Honda Joan Mir, Luca Marini, Johann Zarco, and Takaaki Nakagami to take part in the shakedown, as well as Moto rookie Pedro Acosta Red Bull Gasgas. However, while Acosta put in a total of 45 laps, GP distance is 20 laps and was second fastest, between KTM test riders Dani Pedrosa and Paul Espargaro. The Honda and Yamaha race riders did not take to the track. Both factories said they always plan to use only their test rider today, with their race riders starting from day 2. Test riders from all 5 manufacturers were on track today: Stefan Bradl and Takumi Takahashi Honda, Cal Crutchlow Yamaha, Dani Pedrosa and new test rider Paul Espargaro KTM, plus Michel Pirro Ducati and Lorenzo Savadori Aprilia. Some new aero started to appear during the afternoon, including some interesting new bodywork from Aprilia. Track action at the shakedown takes place from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. local time, from February 1st to 3rd. The official test, featuring all of the 2024 Moto race riders, will then be held from February 6th to 8th, again with practice starts at the end of each day. Each rider on track at the shakedown was using at least 2 different machines, 5 in the case of Savadori. The times shown are each rider's overall best. Nothing has been officially announced regarding the next set of Moto technical regulations from 2027, but as indicated by KTM's pit buyer earlier this week, there now seems to be agreement on the main areas of change: reducing engine capacity, getting rid of ride height devices, limiting the aerodynamic size of the package, the wings, and stuff. They are all the right decisions for sure, Bayer said. However, while repeatable ride height devices look set to disappear by 2027, Crash.net understands that single-use whole-shot devices, which lower the front and rear of the bike only for the race start, could continue. That's because riders believe the lowered bikes are also more stable off the line, resulting in fewer cases of a bike swerving erratically away from the grid. The safety counter-argument is that riders must then brake hard at turn 1 to ensure they release the whole shot device, which can then catch out riders behind. However, the need for such hard braking also means riders are less likely to try and swerve in the braking zone.